Hello viewers, youth leaders and youth from all parts of the Gambia, youth development partners and supporters, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to address you today on the occasion of the 8th African Youth Day, which is celebrated on the 1st of November each year. The day was proclaimed and instituted on the adoption of the African Youth Charter during the African Union AU Banjul Summit 2006. It is a day set aside every year to promote the increased recognition of young people as key agents for economic growth and sustainable development in all facets of African society. It is also an occasion to celebrate the youth on the continent, an opportunity to contribute and channel youth motivation, positive youth energy, and creativity towards the achievement of the African Youth Agenda in Africa. This year's theme is Youth United in Action for AU Agenda 2063, which is coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the AU and looking into the next 50 years for the Africa we want to see. The theme calls for the support of communities, organizations, national and regional platforms, and authorities to promote active youth participation in the planning, implementation, and monitoring of Agenda 2063 of the African Union. Africa is the most youthful continent in the world. At least 60% of its more than 1 billion population is between the ages of 15 and 35. In fact, experts estimate the number could double by 2045. Young people are currently the largest interest group in Africa. Therefore, harnessing the full potential of the youth is necessary for driving the continent's economic transformation. We must do this because the dream of the people of Africa is to be self-reliant, whilst cooperating with each other and other peoples of the world on the principles of mutual recognition of our inherent religious and cultural diversities. So let the youth mobilize themselves to shape the Africa we want to see 50 years from now, and the role they can play to create a united, prosperous, and peaceful Africa. More than anything else, it is realized that the success of Agenda 2063 can only be achieved with the active engagement and participation of all, especially the young people. It is acknowledged that the resourcefulness, energy, and dynamism of our young people are an important asset. For these reasons, we are earnestly desirous of the full commitment of young people to both our national development priorities and that of the continent. Young people should therefore also show commitment for self-development and make themselves open to the various opportunities which are made available to them. We recall that in July 2006, African Union head of states and governments meeting in Banjul, the Gambia, endorsed the African Youth Charter, AYC. The African Youth Charter came as an institutional and legal response to youth development and empowerment in Africa. The Charter is a political and legal document which serves as the strategic framework that gives direction for youth empowerment and development at continental, regional, and national levels. The Gambia, I'm glad to say, ratified the Charter in 2009. Today in Banjul, the birthplace of the African Youth Charter, we are celebrating the African Youth Day. I therefore call on young people and youth organizations to take up responsibility and support government in its drive in translating the commitments by the African heads of states made in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, affirming their commitment to the implementation of the African Youth Charter and investing in young people for a sustainable future. It is an undeniable fact that the Gambia government has met key demands as enshrined in the African Youth Charter and has developed several initiatives to realizing youth development in the country. The Gambia, for instance, has a national youth policy that runs from 2009 to 2019, a strategic plan from 2010 to 2014, and has established, in fact, the National Youth Council in 2002, well before the coming into life of the African Youth Charter, as a coordinating body for all youth organizations in the Gambia. The government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and Management Development Institution, MDI, has a diploma program since September 2002 that trains professional youth workers. So in the Gambia, youth work and activism is very proactive compared to other countries in Africa. Furthermore, dear viewers, the Ministry of Youth and Sports has prioritized youth leadership development and employment as urgent areas of intervention for now and in the coming years. In fact, this has been clearly captured in the new youth policy and the strategic plan, in cognizance of the key role youths play in the achievements of our national development blueprints, program for accelerated growth and employment, Vision 2020, and the MDGs. The Gambia is a role model in Africa when it comes to youth voice and participation in highest decision-making places. We have youths in the executive, youths who are elected and nominated members of parliament, youth at regional councils, youth in the judiciary, and in fact all organs of our entire governance architecture. These are indeed signs that youths are a priority of this government. In order to sustain the development momentum, we shall continue to challenge ourselves to open up more opportunities to create employment for the youth, because youth employment can generate enormous other opportunities through rapid economic expansion and high growth of public revenues, which is necessary for investments in infrastructure, education, skills development. Thus, the reason for the insurmountable amount of investment directed towards the education and empowerment of the youth by the government of the Gambia. Undeniably, education and training are the most critical aspects of youth empowerment. In this vein, the government has developed several programs and schemes to accelerate employment for young people. These include, among others, the National Youth Service Scheme, the National Enterprise Development Initiative, President's International Award Scheme, and most recently, the launch of a $1 million National Youth Fund. Fellow Gambians, youths and viewers, as we commemorate the African Youth Day today, I urge the Gambian youths to remain being more patriotic and continue with the good work of building a stronger and better Gambia in Africa by 2063. The destiny is in our hands. I wish all Gambians and African youths a memorable good day. Thank you for your kind attention.